What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for yet another Tottenham update. A nice and short one for you guys. We're going to start off with Matt Law's article regarding Ange Postecoglou, and he says Daniel Levy and the club's board have been sympathetic to the challenges Ange Postecoglou has faced and has held off rushing into a decision over his future. He also goes on to say that Ange is giving his shattered players squad 2 days off in terms of trying to recharge those batteries. Says some of the players, so not all of the players. I guess the ones come back from injury still need to have time on the training pitch and everything like that. But those ones that have been overplayed will be getting 2 days off. But in terms of Daniel Levy being sympathetic to the challenges Ange Postecoglou has faced, very nice for him to be so sympathetic.
Well, he didn't really do what was required in January in terms of getting these signings a lot earlier to kind of embed them into the team in basically the build up to this big week we had in the Cups. And obviously Dancer was only making a second game. Tell was only making his first start in a Spurs show as well. If they were signed earlier in the window, maybe things could have been different. They could have been bedded in a lot earlier. Maybe Richarlison wouldn't have got injured, all these different things. But the club have been very consistent about this injury crisis, about Ange Postecoglou. So logically, I would say, when it comes to them, it wouldn't make sense to then sack him just on the cusp of the injuries coming back, when they've clearly put out the messaging that they understand that the injuries are a big factor as to why we're in the position that we're in. So I understand why they're sticking by him. Looks like they're going to give him probably at least the Europa League run and probably to the end of the season. And they have been consistent on it, but he has needed help. Ange himself has been very consistent that he's needed help with the playing stuff. He even said it after the game. It'd be nice if they had some help. I wonder if that was a shot at the board. But yeah, I think a lot of people wondering whether we're going to wake up to the news that Ange Postecoglou had been sacked, but it looks like he's got another stay of execution. Yeah,
and I mean, it's the most I've never. Well, no one's ever kind of put in the same sentence Levy and being sympathetic to one of his managers, but you're looking at it, right, and it's like Levy has pretty much put Ange in this situation. As much as Ange has had his say in his hand in some of the injuries that we have had, if you skimp out on medical staff, if you skimp out on players, you know, you're never, and you're going to keep throwing managers under the bus consistently time after time. So will anything even change if Ange Postecoglou was to be sacked anyway? I don't think so.
Not this season, not right now, with the situation we're in. I think maybe that's also part of the reason they sticking with him as well. The amount of money it would cost to sack Ange, given what was the contract they gave him? 4 years. So sacking him and his staff, that probably is a big outlay that they'd rather not kind of put up with. Obviously, when Conte was sacked, there was a long protracted, wasn't there? Kind of. I remember they had the Southampton run, and then it took a few weeks to sack him because there was the international break, and they were probably coming up with some sort of agreement that they
severance package or something.
Exactly, they wouldn't want to pay the whole thing. So I think they would want to avoid that at all costs, and they want to give Ange, as much the best chance to kind of succeed as possible. They want to give him the time it would take to get these players back. I think that's probably only fair, seeing as though they've stuck by him with it. If they haven't really believed that the injury crisis is where we are, he would have been gone. So they must really believe it. So I think they're going to give him that time, and the show goes on, it looks like.
It'll be interesting to see, though, how sympathetic they keep up with how sympathetic he keeps being if the players start to filter back and the form just doesn't change.
Yeah, it's got to change. 100%. The form has to change. There's no doubt about that.
All right, now to the big news story of the update. Spurs have announced 2 new signings today, people. Beyonce has been signed on 2 extra dates at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and Kendrick Lamar and SZA gigs have been announced at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Brilliant stuff. Unbelievable. Spurs are getting signings through the door. This club is disgraceful, man. This literally the first media briefing, or the first stuff being said in the media since the game last night, since going out 2 trophies in the space of 4 days, and they're announcing new gigs, new top star talent coming to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. God forbid that top star talent would be on the pitch.
Oh, you asked world class talent. What about Kendrick Lamar and Beyonce? Does it get any more world class than that? I don't think so. You going to be there?
No.
You're not going? Kendrick, not a fan of Kendrick Lamar?
No, I'm not going to be there.
Fan of Beyonce?
Even if I was a fan of either of them, I wouldn't be there. It's
chance to make some money, chance to increase the coffers.
Chance to increase the coffers and give Daniel Levy an even bigger pay rise than he's getting right now.
Well, the dividends aren't big enough, are they?
It's ridiculous. He's only got the biggest in the Premier League.
It's going to be a packed house. There's going to be more money spent at the stadium. It's going to be more money generated for the football club. For the football club,
don't you mean his paycheck?
Well, he says every penny goes back into the club, he says.
Yeah, he says a lot of things, doesn't he? He lies through his teeth. That's what he does. And, yeah, it's just like... Do you not have any, like, self-awareness about you? Can't you just, like, let the loss, like, settle a little bit before you start announcing this
Money's
stuff?
Got to be made.
Yeah, money would still be made if you just waited a couple of days, even.
No time like the present.
Well, the morning after going out of the FA Cup.
Well, we're still mourning. Still mourning a cup loss. And they announce it. Look, this is Tottenham Hotspur. No self-awareness. That's the way we do things. This was probably scheduled a long time ago to be on this day, but
scheduled the day after an FA Cup game, when you know you're in the midst of this injury crisis and you know more than likely you're going to go out.
They don't think about these things.
No, they don't, because they don't think about football. What they think about is generating revenue. And, you know, maybe if we do well on football as well, it'll be a nice side piece, nice side hustle for the club. But it's never been, and it's not at the forefront of this football club.
Why bother spending the money to get back to big Champions League finals, European finals, when you can put on the biggest events yourselves? Get Kendrick Lamar in there, get Beyonce in there.
Yeah, I'm seeing the smile beaming from your face with this. You seem delighted.
Can't wait. A lot of big fans of Kendrick Lamar.
You going?
Don't think so.
Why not?
I don't think I'll spend the money.
Yeah, good on you.
Too much for me.
Ridiculous. Well, anyway, change for Spurs protests on Sunday. Man United game. Be there or be square, people.
Why don't you protest the concerts?
That's what it definitely should do. Definitely should do. Change for Spurs. Have a look into that, because I think there should be some protests going on at Kendrick Lamar and Beyonce. Get Beyonce involved in the protests. Why not?
Turn up with our Europa League trophy.
Our Europa League trophy. And last but not least, Tom Barkley says Destiny Udogie is back and available from his hamstring injury, and hopefully for involvement in this weekend's match against Manchester United. So, as Ange likes to say, he's going to be the first cab off the ranks.
Well, it's good news. There's also There's also some ITK suggesting that Brennan, Werner, Vicario potentially could be back as well. So we'll wait to hear if they're also going to be available on Sunday. What's probably ironic about the Udogie one is obviously Spencer's done really well in recent weeks, so he's probably the ones that we not as desperate for right now. But obviously,
I'd argue against that. Because Porro's just been playing so much, so you can move Spence over to the right and then Udogie back to the left.
Yeah, look, of course, and that would help. And obviously, Porro did have a bit of a rest against Liverpool, but then started against Villa. And I thought did well in the second half, but not so well in the first half. But anyway, by the by, good to have Udogie back. Any player back is going to help, and we know Udogie is a very good player can be a good player in the system, and excited to see him back. And I'm just excited to have some players back, and maybe he has some choice, and we can start resting players and start adding more energy into this team, because it's very much needed, and every little helps right now.
Any sign of players that we've seen in training, like Romero and Van de Ven? Any sign of them?
Not that I've heard yet.
What is going on, man? What is going on with these two? I do think Van de Ven's injured, but what is going on with Romero?
He's a slow burner.
Slow burner. I've never
They're
heard
all
such
slow
rubbish
burners.
before in my life. Slow burner. We saw him back in training 3 weeks ago.
So what are you implying?
Huh? I don't know. I really don't know. I'm at a loss for words what's going on with Romero.
So why is he definitely rubbish then?
Because we saw him in training 3 weeks ago, and now he's nowhere to be seen.
So is he refusing to play?
I don't know. And it was also a bit fishy with Romero that whenever you saw the injured players all sitting there together with the game, he was never there as well.
No, I've seen pictures of him on the
For the majority of the games, he wasn't there, I'm telling you.
Well, maybe there is something going on there. Maybe he doesn't want to play. I don't know. Maybe. Could be. Maybe he's had a fallout. Look, as I said before, he hasn't played since he made those comments about Levy. Maybe there's something to that.
Maybe, but I mean, I'm just at a loss for words what's going on with Kuti, because we literally saw him in training 3 weeks ago. We know, in my opinion, the club are lying through their teeth in terms of some of these injuries. Like Maddison, last we heard about him is that he was sore. We haven't seen him for 3-4 weeks since then. Van der Ven, you know, he comes back, plays 45 minutes against Elfsborg, and we haven't seen him since. And then Cuti Romero, like we saw him in training 3 weeks ago, and we haven't seen him since either. So I mean, something fishy is going on.
It's hard to put your finger on it.
I just don't know what that fishy behaviour is. I don't know what it is. But
I don't know.
let us know in the comment section below, what do you think it's all down to? But that is your Tottenham update for today. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts regarding all the news stories we've broke to you today, including our brand new signings in Beyonce and Kendrick Lamar. Let us know in the comment section below. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.